another strange thing we read in the newspapers every day, on television you watch it also, is that the woman provoked the man in some way. That is something that we've been constantly hearing. You know, that she was wearing funny clothes, exposing her legs, the body, and that was almost like a license or a invitation.
I mean,
what do you say to that?
The term that's been used more often than not, in fact, a judge in Calcutta used it some time ago, where she said the woman was asking for it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I find that kind of interesting because
interesting, offensive, or just
no.
interesting?
I find it interesting because it's such a misunderstanding. A woman going out in skimpy clothes might very well be asking for it. She still gets a choice on who. Yeah,
she gets to pick the person.
She gets to pick the person. It's not like, oh, you're wearing a short skirt, so I'm going to come out and So my whole point is, maybe she is, maybe she isn't. But the bottom line is, she gets to choose who. I don't think that asking for it is a bad thing, because if asking for it was a bad thing, all of us should have been brutalized in some way. Because let's face it, as men, we're asking for it all the time. Yeah, we're begging for it. Okay, so why is it so weird when a woman does it? I mean, we laugh at countries like Saudi Arabia because, they don't want their women to drive. The men can do it, but they can't. But there's lots of things that we do here culturally where men can do it, but women can't. Why? Yeah. So we laugh at their double standard and we say that they're barbaric and behind the times. Then we do the same thing in a different context. I think
that's happening everywhere. No, but the thing I want to ask is there any justification in men or people in authority, including the police, generally cautioning women, dress like this, and this is appropriate, this is inappropriate?
I don't think so. This is along the same lines as Broken Bridge in Chennai, for example. There's actually a cop stationed there now, and he tells you, like, don't go there because it's dangerous. And I have a problem with the way that people are policing nowadays. I mean, we're not even talking about the model police. We're talking about, just the police force themselves. They're not trying to solve crimes that happen. They're trying to stop everyone from doing everything so that crimes can't happen. And I think that that's ridiculous. Don't go here because it's dangerous. Don't go there because... How about you stop it from being dangerous? That's what I'd like you to do. If I want to go and sit on the beach at 2 o'clock in the morning and a cop comes and says, don't do that, it's dangerous. What are you here for?
All right. Yeah.
You're here to protect me.
Okay. Yeah? I'm not doing anything dangerous.
I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting on a beach at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Now, if it's dangerous, that's because you're not doing your job.
Correct.
And I have had some altercations on the Besanagar beach since I moved to Adyar. I've been there 2.5 years now, and I've had some issues on the beach, and it's okay because I can take care of myself. And there was one time where it was really misfortunate because there were 5 of us, and there were a lot more of them, but they were all from my school. So they were all martial artists, and these guys had no clue.
Oh, you mean the attackers had no clue?
The attackers had no clue, so they just came in and started a situation because there were more of them.
Routine harassment.
And good night, sweet prince. It was over pretty quick. And then so we just dropped them on their heads and walked away.
Do you think it's, if a man is not able to protect the women in the sense that he has got no skills of, martial arts and stuff, you just stay away from these places, or please go there and take your chances?
So this was something that one of the women at a self-defense seminar asked me. She said, so you're telling me that I shouldn't do all these things because men can't control themselves? And so I said, well, that's not entirely true, because there are things in the city that I wouldn't do. As a martial artist, as an instructor, I wouldn't do them because I think that they're dangerous. There are certain parts of the city I wouldn't walk down at 3 o'clock in the morning.
The other day, I had another guest. He was a Spaniard. He came here and he was doing a mixed version, a kind of fusion version of the one famous episode from the Mahabharata where the heroine is being stripped of her clothes. And then he read about a report where some woman complained that I just went dancing in this one place and suddenly 5 guys came up there, and then the next thing you know, they were groping us and we got in all sorts of problems. The cops had to go. And he had an interesting take on it. He says, would these girls go and dance in some waterfront bar, some low-life area in their country? They wouldn't. They came looking for an experience. So when you look for these kind of experience, that's when you could probably say you're asking for it.
Well, but in fairness though, just to take that to the next logical conclusion is that, it still boils down to a woman having choice.
Oh, sure, that's
fair. And so I don't condone that kind of behavior anywhere. But I do think that if your safety is your primary concern, there's certain things you just don't want to do. And one of the biggest mistakes that the women make is, I actually asked a friend of mine, I said, why don't you come in and do my self-defense workshops? Because you're a hot girl and you go out every night and you're like a model and all of that. And she said, yeah, but I'm always with guys. And I was like, guys who can protect you how? Yeah, just having a bunch of guys around means nothing, because I'm pretty certain that because there are situations that guys handle entirely wrong, because we come at everything from an ego point of view. And your ego is going to get you into a serious amount of trouble. And we don't even think about it.
And those guys coming there looking for a fight anyway. They're spoiling for a fight.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you can do nothing about it.
A lot of times there's just no getting out of it. And if you don't know how to handle yourself, what's going to happen is if there are 8 of them and 4 of you, who's protecting the girl once the 4 of you have hit the ground?
Okay, yeah. All right, that's an interesting point. And my wife had given me a little interesting suggestion, which I'm going to throw at Carrie when we come back on the next section. So we'll talk about that.